Okay, good. We're on number 14 for our slope practice. It says determine the rates of change, which is basically the slope, in the following tables. So the rate of change we've talked about is rise over run, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Another way of thinking about that is the change in y over the change in x. So if I look at the changes in my y values, from 13 to 16, I add 3. 16 to 19, I add 3. And we want to make sure this is consistent along the whole thing. Yep, add 3 there. Okay, so my change in y is a positive 3. Let's go ahead and look at the change in x. To get from negative 1 to negative 3, I subtract 2. Same thing from negative 3 to negative 5. Subtract 2. Let's make sure that's consistent. Yep, same there, and then from negative 9 to 11, same there. So we know that these are constant. We know that the change in y and the change in x are exactly the same from number to number. We're going to go ahead and write negative 2 here. Okay, so if we wanted to simplify this, a positive or a change in y is 3, a change in x is negative 2. The slope or the rate of change here would be negative 3 halves. So what happened here is we had a positive and a negative. So if we have a positive and a negative together, that creates a negative. And then our 3 over 2 will stay the same. Let's take a look at 15. Okay, so same thing. Let's do their change in x over the change in y. So to get from negative 8 to negative 6.5, I would add 1.5. Same thing here. Add 1.5. Add 1.5. Add 1.5. Okay, so that's consistent. So that's our change in y. Let's look at our change in x. Looks like here I add 1, and this is consistent as well. So if we look at our, oops, I got these messed up. Change in y over change in x. Okay, so our change in our y is a positive 1.5. Okay, our change in x is a positive 1. So this really isn't a great answer. We really want that 1.5 to be a fraction. So 1.5 as a fraction is actually 3 halves. So we just say it's 3 halves over 1. Well, we don't really want a fraction inside a fraction, so we can actually simplify this. Anything over 1 is just itself. So this is actually a slope of positive 3 halves.